Hey, hey.
All right.
This is Get Your Life.
Real talk.
And you should know by now that wealth and riches reside in my house.
Okay.
All right. And the blessings of the Lord maketh one rich and addeth no sorrow. And we are living the abundant life.
All right. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
Oh, boy, this lighting is horrible. But anyway, happy Monday. We hope that everyone had a blessed weekend and that starting off today with positive vibes, good vibes.
Yes. Yes.
Things going your way.
That's right. If you don't like the way it is, change
That's
it.
right. I've been on the move. As you can see, look, I did this.
My girl has been changed. That last video changed.
Well, it was Friday's event, trying to get our kids' towed car out of the impound. That changed me with the quickness, like, stop procrastinating. Because when we talked about the procrastination, and if I'm talking about, for me, I can't talk about it and not live it.
The struggle is real, people.
It really is.
Yes, and it hits you. It starts with you first. I used to tell people, especially when you're preaching, that message comes to you first, and it funnels all through those places and nuances. About time you deliver that word, you can deliver it because you have lived it.
That's right. So I lived it, and I said, I'm not tolerating that foolishness with anybody. And I've already told my kids, well, they don't know yet, but they're about to find out. Have to have a group session, family meeting
time
to let them know, because what I just went through was a result of my children procrastinating from doing something that they should have done. But also, too, I take onus for the fact that while I was observing, I interfered. And so the lesson to be learned is I observe, but I don't interfere.
And that's the message for today, people.
Observe, but do not interfere.
And explain it to the people in case they don't understand. Now listen, before we go into this, we want you to understand, just like a definition has many different meanings, different schools of thoughts or different thoughts have different meanings. So you may apply it a little bit differently, but this is what we're learning for this season of our lives. And this is what we're applying this particular way for us to move to our transformation or through our transformation. So my sister here, Queen, she's going to tell you what. Observe.
Now, to some people, that may mean mind your business, and to some degree, that's what it is. But when we say observe but do not interfere, as parents, meaning when your kids become to a certain age, or anyone in particular, you can observe what is going on, but do not volunteer yourself to get involved into the situation. Meaning, because you'll get caught up into something that was never yours to deal with, and you'll put in a whole lot of your energy, and you'll get frustrated and annoyed behind something that was never yours to begin with.
Yes.
So it's really important, if you want to save your feelings and save your energy, even your sanity, your serenity, your tranquility, do not interfere. Unless, it's not even a matter of interfering, unless someone comes and asks of your advice. But even with that, do not interfere. Do not volunteer yourself to say, I will or I can.
Yes.
Do not do that. And that was a hard lesson that I learned on Friday. And as I was sharing with my sis here, our kid's car got towed. So it was sitting there, and my oldest child is out of the country. And a lot of this revolved around my two older kids, my son and my daughter, because my husband and I had told them to do something and they didn't do it. And so they procrastinated. We got the notification that the registration was going to be expired. But when it happened, my youngest daughter was in the car and got pulled over by the police. And as a result, she got pulled over by the police. She was issued 2 tickets that is mandatory court appearance. And both of those tickets both of them are over $100 a piece. One of us, my husband and myself, are going to have to take a day off to go with her because we know she was scared. They towed the car. So then it was on us to get it out, which it really shouldn't have been. But because our child is not here to resolve the matter, we had to do it because we knew that if we didn't, it was going to be too much for them to deal with on their own. But Friday for me was a waste of my energy and time because I took on something that I really shouldn't. It was never mine to take on. It was never my problem to solve. As a parent, you know, you want to try to help your kids out. Sometimes we are very guilty of trying to handle problems to take it away so they don't have to deal with it. Instead of allowing for them to understand the consequences to their actions. I mean, I'm not going to allow my child to go to jail over something, but things that could be taken care of, that was in their power to take care of, that was a hard lesson that I learned. Like when they say, stop coddling your kids, as that mother eagle, I'm kicking all their behinds out of that mess. They didn't know, but they will find out when we have a family meeting. And at the end of that day, we still didn't get the car out.
Wow.
So now you have a couple more days that are incurring a fee sitting in the impound. And when I left out of motor vehicle, because that was our last stop, which we couldn't get it, I felt myself so frustrated and like up past here, annoyed, and my energy was, I was just so like consumed with anger and it was just a negative feeling. I didn't like it, and I could feel myself welling up with tears. And then I said to myself, why are you going to cry? You better not shed a tear. Don't cry, because first of all, you should have never interfered. Secondly, this is not your problem. So you're going to get upset over something that never belonged to you. It was never your problem in the first place. So this should teach you, do not interfere.
That's true. And that's a lesson for all of us as parents. I think we did something about letting go once before, about letting go because they have to take onus on themselves.
Really.
And so as observers, we're learning to observe, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to be involved in other people's stuff. It's just that you don't take the extra step to get involved.
Right.
And I think that maybe that's just a safe word. Don't get involved.
Don't get involved.
If they ask you for advice, you can give advice, but don't go beyond. And really what it is about them learning their own lesson.
Correct.
That's really what it is that when you step over the boundary, they can no longer really learn the lesson because you done stepped in and caused this thing to happen that shouldn't happen.
Right. And on top of that, you're not really doing them any justice when you don't allow for them to do it, because what happens is, as what these millennials say, my parents didn't teach me how to do this and that. They didn't show me. I don't know how to do that. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know how to write a check. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I will tell you how to, but I will not do it for you, nor will I get involved.
That's true.
And I think this is the other lesson too. I'm not obligated to.
That's
just
right.
because I'm the parent doesn't mean I have to do anything.
And that's another key thing, is that you have to get to the point where you don't feel obligated because they are your child, your sister, your brother, whoever it is. Because what happens, you get so involved in other people's life that you wonder why you're so tired and frustrated.
That sucks up all their energy.
And then when it's time for you to take your own life on, it's like, look, I'm too tired.
You don't even have the energy to deal with your own stuff because you were dealing with someone else's stuff. But that was something that I took from this week, and I've just continued to apply it. Even like yesterday, I had my daughter with me. We had to go to the store, and I could feel myself getting annoyed. And it's like, you know what? There's no need for all of this. Just don't buy it. Put it down and walk out. And that's what I did.
Really?
I walked out.
She wanted something.
No, it was me.
Oh, okay.
I wanted something, and it was just the way how things were flowing. And I'm like, okay, the cashier, it was an express line. It was one lady, she was standing there, and I had one item, one little small container. He's going to tell me I need to get into the express line where there are like 12 people. And I said, I only have this one. He's like, I don't have anything to do with it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? I don't need it that bad. I set that little container right there on top of the counter where he was. And I said, Rachel, let's go. Because I don't need the aggravation. I'm not obligated to buy it. I don't have to buy it. So it's just easier that I walk out. And that's what I did.
I would have went to the supervisor.
Nah. Because he would have agreed with him, her, whatever. And then here I am wasting time getting more frustrated because you're not in agreement with what I'm saying as a customer.
Oh, wow.
And it, it was just like, you know what? Just set it down. You don't need it that bad. Even though they were little gooseberries, they're little tiny yellow thing.
Anyway.
They're like little yellow tomatoes and they're very sweet.
Oh.
But I didn't get them. And they were like $3.99 for a little pack, like the little small pack of tomatoes you see in a thing.
Right.
But they're very good. But my aggravation is worth more.
Oh.
Or I should say my sanity and my tranquility is worth a lot more than some $4 and some little yellow fruit.
Okay.
So I wasn't obligated. And that's the other thing too. We should never feel like we're obligated to do something. Like if it's not sitting well with you, dismiss yourself. Stop whatever it is. Don't feel that you need to, as I was saying. So you should never feel obligated that you have to buy anything when you go somewhere and they're giving you a hard time about something or they're coming with an attitude. Mm-hmm. You don't need it that bad.
That's
Why do you have to go through all of that aggravation? Want to have to cuss somebody out, go to the manager. Hey, I just take away my money from this establishment.
Yes, that's a point. That's a point. That's a good point. Yes, that's a very good point.
There's no point of me wanting to go and cuss you out, wait for you after work, meet you at your car. I'm not doing it.
Did you?
Yeah. Even like I went and got my nails done and they were getting on my nerves and I was really close to saying, you know what, this place is not for me. I'm going to walk out. And if it wasn't for the nail tech who was dealing with me, she was really nice and I said, okay, I'll stay. But for everybody else, I'm like, you know what? You obviously don't want my money, nor do I want to waste my time. But I gave them a chance. But I'm just saying overall, stop wasting energy on stuff that you're not obligated to do. You're not obligated to say anywhere that you don't want to. You're not obligated to buy anything that you don't want to. Just to say, look, save yourself some time and energy. And if you want peace in your life, you're not obligated to do a lot of that stuff. And again, observe but do not interfere.
I know that's right. I do. 'Cause I went to the post office to return one thing and send something out. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's not the pay, the office, but every time I go in there, it's such a foul spirit. I mean, they're unhappy. It's like you're imposing on them. And I accidentally didn't realize that one of the other packages should go to UPS. And she's like, we don't take that here. I mean, it was just the way she said it. And when she gave me the slip with when they circle that thing and says, you can do the survey. And when I got in the car and it was like, you should fill that survey out. And then I was like, but why? Why agitate myself? Why even go back over it? It didn't belong there. It was, it was because I just put the label on. I didn't even really read it. And it's like, why even be aggravated? Just take it to the UPS people. And the funny thing about it was that the person at UPS was so sweet. I had to call them because I didn't even know where it was. The nearest one, which was at Mount Laurel. And they were very nice on the phone. When I got there, they was very nice. Can I help you? Let me make sure you get your receipt. And it was like a totally different experience. And again, it's how we receive things, how we perceive things, and how we've gotten used to people treating us, and how we accept it. And some things, like you said, you don't have to, And I was like, okay, I'm not going to say nothing to her. I'm just going to take my little package and leave.
I'm not subscribing to that foolishness. Because, again, for me, my sanity, my peace, my tranquility, everything. If I give that over, that means you have my power. And no one should have any more power over you than you yourself. So there's just things after Friday's ordeal. I said I'm not, going to subscribe to a lot of things. There's things that I'm just not obligated to do. There's just there has to be some form of change. And even if it involves other people and they don't want to change with you, then that's their problem. That's not your problem. But as for me, I'm just not dealing with a lot of that. And for you, sis, with that situation, that means you need to go somewhere else. If it means it's going to put you out of the way, but you're going to deal with better customer service and even nicer people, then to me it's all worth it.
They're miserable all the time. And you know, you try to be cordial and decent, but it's like, really?
Miserable people are miserable people. Sometimes if I'm somewhere and you can tell that there's something with that person, sometimes depending if I'm again led, I'll say, I'm sorry, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? You're not having a good day.
And we do have those moments. That's very
And then
true.
sometimes those people will catch themselves because they didn't even realize that, you know, especially when they're in a job that they have to deal with people. Sometimes they have to catch themselves and like, no, I'm tired or blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes, you know, after a while that breaks it and then they've checked themselves and they'll be nice. Or if they're like, nothing.
But she did tell me to have a good day, you know, I guess because I didn't go out often.
After she blasted you, we don't take that here.
It's like, ooh.
We don't take that here. Have a nice day. Thank you. Next.
I'm like, okay. Bye.
Just can't. Life is too short.
I don't show up.
Look, I already took them packages and I'm leaving. Because the moment you would have came out of your face and I'm like, this is not going to be good. So, you know what? I'll gather all of myself like Santa Claus putting all the toys into the bag. Good day. Good day. And that's it.
It is the environment.
But that doesn't mean that we have to
That's very true.
acclimate to what they're doing.
But that means those are decisions that we have to make in our lives. Like my first cousin, my husband said that told her when we were at the funeral that we should keep in contact. And she called me on Saturday. And it was so funny because we were talking and she said that I can't talk to you about certain things because those things are so negative and I don't even want to go there. And it was so funny because it was like, okay, so how do you have a conversation? Yeah, it was funny because it's like the conversation couldn't go but so far, and that was as far as it was go, and we're not even going to deal with that. We're going to move on because we really don't subscribe to that, whatever that caused that, because we know where it comes from. And it was such a delightful thing. Miss Sharon, thank you for calling. And it was such an enlightener because it means that you do have control. And you don't have to have conversations that are not uplifting. You don't have to have conversations that's going to bring somebody else down. You don't have to have those conversations. It's just not part of me. It's not part of my life.
Mine either.
So,
either. I've had no problem with cutting off a conversation where I could see it wasn't going anywhere. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this conversation, so I don't want to be a witness of hearing anything that is being said and someone tries to bring, because to me that's also, you know, could be some drama.
Yes, that's
true. I'd rather not. I mean, if you're going to have my name in your mouth, I want it to be on the positive, not say what Sabrina said.
That's true.
Like, I'm too grown for that type of mess. I will not be on the end of a hearsay, and as she said, that's some high school Vaseline, take off the earrings type of thing I don't want to be a part of. So, no, we're not doing that.
So then, this is our conversation for today, is to observe.
But do not interfere.
Do not interfere for your own safety, for your own mind, for your own peace. And you will find that your life will be more enhanced and you will have more peace in your life. And that will allow the other person also to grow up. Make their own mistakes.
Correct.
And learn.
Correct.
So, this is Get Your Life.
Real talk.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.